When first-person shooting games are brought up, I notice Crysis is left off. A lot of lists a great deal of the time. It is astonishing really until you realize that what Crysis 1 tried to do was simulate an entire first-person shooter in a jungle environment, while effectively having the CPU attempt to get all the prime numbers all the same time. The fact is the game did amazing stuff, but its performance was always raw. There is reason why the joke always gets out there, can it run Crysis 2 and 3 came along and they offered their own spins on the original game and actually scored very well and were for more technically proficient in how they ran. And then we heard about Crysis Remastered. Was it going to have the same issues, or was it going to bring the technology into the future? No, it was not. It had a lot of the same problems with performance, that is until the 1.13 patch came out for Remastered, and honestly Crysis Remastered 2 and Crysis Remastered 3 available coming up soon for the PlayStation, Xbox and PC. Surprisingly perform like all of them, have the path, and that is only good news for all us, got news for you. Let's start the review. If you like the video, give it the thumbs up, and we'll give the thumbs of Crysis 1 and its original location, the jungle slow descent into chaos as you use the destruction system to annihilate entire village. I love the original game, sneaky and throw the jungle and taking out enemies. It was so fantastic as a sandbox, but I also have my love for Crysis 2 and Crysis 3. They did things a little bit differently, especially with their levels, and how they did it, the bleached out and destroyed cities and later location of the second one as a plasmed out into some truly spectacular locales, or 3 some would say the best mix of the bunch when it comes to the level makeup, because it extracted the linear parts of this second title, opened it up with a truly Gregor's Raging Storm moment on a military ocean vessel to open the game. It is just a spectacular opening. All of these games have something about them that I actually like. I also like the animation for enemies, hitting an enemy, they fall over if you surprise them, they will trip up. That is a really cool way to sell the gamer and just a little bit of fiction that these real characters reaction to you. And while all those games were impressive originally, they do step it up hugly in their remaster from the lighting system, which is phenomenal, and you can see that global illumination, the ray tracing on the PC really, regardless of whatever setting you put it on all the way down to low, the game still looks very good. Explosion and lighting debris system all work crazy. When it comes to the performance, Crysis Remastered 1 is much improved, so 16's locked without leaping into the settings on the PC. It's still a bit hard pressed. The step up in the patch is incredible. It is nothing like it was when it originally came out, Crysis 2 and 3 Remastered. Built upon the excellent basis of the original titles, and the remasters have done them an incredible service. Let's talk about the consoles for a second. This is pretty mind-blowing. They lock at 16 FPS on the consoles pretty much all across the board except for the older generation, so the PS4 and the Xbox One. They are locked at 13, but the way the game handles the actual blue shader is phenomenal. You are not going to win an argument if you try to say 16 is worse than 13, but this is one of the best locked at 13 FPS game I have seen in a long time. You jump into the next gen consoles, guess what, locked at 16 occasional streaming issues would pop up where you get it to drop a little bit highly. Impressive, especially when you add in that all new lighting systems have been built into the remasters with the PC. You can jump in with 1080 and 1080 Ti and you can get yourself 1080p with most of the settings on high or ultra. You will have to use some DLSS. This game does have some various settings that you can turn down and get some FPS back for sure, in particular post-processing. and a separate shading that actually is in there. You can definitely get some FPS back from the. It's rare that you get a game that was technically as proficient as this, and you see the remasters, and we have seen demasters, Batman Remastered, where the Godman remasters looked worse and have very good frame rates and is performed as hell. You do the fun stuff.